Good afternoon. Hello, 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 and welcome to Tea Tuesdays. It is your girl V, and I have the phenomenal. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. The phenomenal. I'm gonna give a whole lot of adjectives because she's gonna do the rest. Miss Sunni Pouncil, how are you doing today, Queen?
I am thriving today, Queen. I am thriving today. Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Not too bad. I've been busy, but it's hey, I think it comes with the territory. It comes
It
with it.
does. It does. It's one of those things that we keep it moving, regardless of whatever we're doing. We got to keep it moving.
Right. That part is true. That part is definitely true. So for the people that do not know, who is Sunny? Some people. I realize that I have a line sister named Zakia. I don't know if you. Well, I ain't gonna go into all that. But anyways, when I posted your video, she said, "Oh, she was my mom's realtor." I was like, "Oh, look at her! Look! She famous."
Listen. It's just one of those things that, I like to help the community in educating, involving them with home ownership. And so it's so important that people understand that. So to introduce and definitely want to thank you for allowing me to come and share my story, to be on your podcast. It is definitely, truthfully, a divine connection when I met you a couple of weeks ago at the Business Besties brunch.
Yeah.
And it was truly amazing to see some of the queens there. So thank you for reaching out to me and giving me an opportunity to share my story as a breast cancer survivor. And I'm going to correct that and say breast cancer thriver.
Yes.
A
Yes.
lot of things that we can survive from, but just overall surviving, right? And
Mhm.
so I am Sunni Pouncil. I am a real estate agent, top real estate agent for Your Unique Home with Ariston Realty. Have been for 8 years with a total of 13 years in the real estate industry.
Okay.
I am also a podcaster for Neighborhood Jams with Sunni Pouncil. Been podcasting since 2019, and have grown my podcast tremendously. And I'm super excited about that. I am also a brand partner for Santana Global Magazine or Santana Global. Most people are already familiar with that process of me being on magazines and foot covers. And of course, I'm going to share some of that with you today's interview. I am also a author, a two-time best-selling author, and then I have several more anthologies coming. So I'm super, super excited about those.
Oh
And
my.
then I just self-published my first magazine, The G, which you see me wearing the G shirt. But
The
those that can see, I'm wearing the G shirt.
Oh, I
And
like
so we can
that.
talk a little bit more about that. I'm also a speaker and an MC.
Oh my goodness. I mean, did y'all get the whole resume? I mean, I'm it's hard to write all that down. You have to record that,
Right.
go back and play it again. Oh my goodness. You are definitely busy, 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 busy. I don't even know where to start. You know what? Let's start with the breast cancer. Let's start there. And then we
Yes.
can we can tackle all these other things. But let's start with the breast cancer because you are a breast cancer thriver, and I like that you said that because you know
Yes.
uh, we have to learn to change our terms. We say survivor, but we do need to say thriver. Because we're
Yes.
we're continuously going through this journey even after everything is over with. So when were you diagnosed with breast cancer? How long has it been?
Well, it started with me finding it on my own. And oh my gosh, it's been 16 years now.
Wow.
Uh, and so I had just turned 30 and I was doing a monthly exam on myself. And I
Hmm.
found myself at the point where it was like, okay, what is this? I was in the shower. And of course, as I try to educate the people in the community for breast cancer awareness, is to when was the last time you stood in the mirror just completely naked and look at yourself? And I mean, just do a complete turnaround spin, however you need to do it. But it's just one of those things that are you really examining yourself? Are you taking a look and see what's going on with your own body? Because
Hmm.
sometimes we can pick up and detect things of our own if we're paying attention, right?
Right.
And
That's
so I found it in a self exam, and it just looks like a little print that was right on the side of my breast on the right side. And I went to the doctor. I can remember calling her on a Friday evening. And as I called her on Friday, she said, you know what? I don't like the way this looks. Come back in and we're going to get you scheduled for a biopsy. scheduled me for the biopsy, and it came out to be cancerous. And so,
Oh my goodness. So it's a good thing you did that self-examination, just paying attention to your own body. Oh
yes,
my
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it's important to actually do that and take that time to just self-examine yourself, right?
right.
So it's so important to do that. And so with that, I would go under 10 or so surgeries, um, 4 rounds of chemo treatment. That would eventually take all the taste buds, lose every inch of my hair, everything. So it was a difficult time. It was a
Yes,
difficult
definitely.
time.
And
But
what's
thank God I don't look like what I went through. So
I know, right? Amen. Amen. Now what stage were you?
I was in a stage one.
Stage one. Okay.
I was in a
Okay.
stage one, and when I had surgery, I was going into my stage two.
Oh my goodness. So it was starting to
It
oh
was
my,
starting to grow fast.
it was
Yes,
starting
ma'am.
to grow fast. Yes.
Yes.
And that makes a difference about time, because just imagine if you didn't, I mean, we don't want to imagine, but just imagine if you didn't take that time to observe your body that day. We have to pay attention to what's going on, men and women, because men can
Right.
get breast cancer too, but you have to pay attention to what,
Absolutely.
yeah. And
Absolutely. We
and
do
don't be
too.
afraid to go to the doctor.
And get checked, right?
Right,
It's
right.
so important to go to the doctor and get checked. So
Yeah.
many people are against going to the doctor just to see, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything bad, right? But
Hmm.
just to go and get the information so that you know what you need to do.
To do
Because it
right.
was no different than me sitting there in that doctor's office and crying, why me? Why me? And it was just the little voice of the spirit saying, why not you? I
Mm,
need you to be a voice. I need you to be a testimony to someone to let them know that they too can get over this.
right.
So it was
Ooh,
just one of those things of, hey, you can do it, so just do it.
do it. Okay. And 16 years later, I mean, you heard the resume. If you missed it, we'll go through we'll go through some of them again. But you heard the resume, because after you had that journey, did all of these other things start to come full circle with the realtor, the author, the podcasting, the publishing? Did all of that just start to
No, so basically it was one of those, hold on just a second. Babe, we have somebody down here. Okay, hold on just a
and she
second.
and
That's
she
a
handled it?
multitask.
Did
Yeah.
y'all see that? See that? See, that's a woman about business. She multitasking. She and sometimes we have to do that, because many of us wear multiple hats, and you're probably one of those people that wear multiple hats. But hey,
I
it's all right. She
am.
had to handle her business, and she back with us, so don't worry, don't worry.
I can't go far because as a podcaster, this sometimes happens, and this is what I have to do too. So it's one of those, hey, get back over there and get on that live. You can't let everybody just sit there and hear your conversation, right?
Right.
But it's one of those that as a young lady, so I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana originally.
Oh, you're from the
Um,
South.
I'm a Southern gal. Listen, I'm a Southern gal. Love my seafood, all that good stuff. But I'm truly a Okie from the South. So I've been here most of my life. Um, in middle school, growing up, my thing was to be an entrepreneur. And it was so funny. I was in Florida this past weekend speaking on the Step in Your Truth tour. And as we're driving around these buildings, my whole vision as a young girl was to be a lawyer and to have an office at the very top in the corner with all windows. That was the vision as
Okay.
a young girl. And so it gave me the vision in Fort Lauderdale that past weekend of you're going to own the building. You're not going to just rent it. You're going to own it. So you have to kind of start speaking things into existence as if they were. So,
Yes.
and I'm a truly believer of that. So this young girl going through life's journeys, was in the church. You could be in the church and know Lord, but you have not truly had an encounter with God. So sometimes you really don't know him, right?
Hmm.
And so it would take me to go through this breast cancer that I would have an encounter with him, but later on in life, I would come encounter with him again, right? And
Okay.
so the funny thing about it is being an entrepreneur mindset at a young age, it was one of those things that I've always wanted to own my own business, right? And as young people, we were already told to go to school, get a good education, and get a good job, right?
Right. Right.
That's not what I'm training this 8-year-old rambunctious 8-year-old son of mine. The goal is to train him to go to school, get a good education, and own a business. Work for one of the businesses that we have provided for you, right? And
Right.
so I'm truly blessed beyond my measure to be sitting in the seat that I am in, to be running 3 successful businesses.
Mhm.
But it wouldn't start there. It was a journey. I mean, it had to go through the nose. It had to go through working for corporate America, had to get the basis. I did do 10 years of human resources where I
Oh,
put people to work. So I got out of it because I got tired of putting people to work and came back into real estate. And so it's just one of those things that entrepreneurship has always been in my forefront as a human being, loving to own my own business,
right.
having to have that flexibility of working my own hours. It's something that you have to do it to learn to get where you need to be, right?
Right.
And
That's
so I had to learn to work for somebody else so that I can appreciate one day working for myself. Because when you work for yourself, you got to put in the double the hours. It's not the same amount of hours; it's double the hours,
right.
right?
Hours.
And
And
so
and it doesn't
that's
happen
where
very quickly either. It doesn't
no, it
happen.
does not. It's a
No.
process. It is a process. And that process would come over time, over the years of working for other people, building their dreams, getting told no several times, get talked about it several times. And I mean, it'll start pushing you to where you can push play on your purpose and keep moving forward.
Oh, I like that way. Push play on your purpose. I like that. I like.
Yes,
Let me borrow that.
yes.
Let me borrow that from you real quick.
That nugget was dropped when I heard it. And I said, "Up, that's a mental note. I'm going to use that one." So
Yeah,
yes,
definitely,
yes.
definitely. So with the entrepreneurship, do you feel and let's just I mean, if it's okay, we can focus on African Americans.
Okay.
Because we are, but do you feel that it's difficult for us to have a business mindset when we're trying to start a business because we're expecting fast money?
That for us, I want to say sometimes that could be the case, but I truly believe that education is the key. So if you don't know how to start your business, that can be the most dangerous part versus having the fear of starting your business. So if
Okay,
you have the right utensils and the right tools, everybody can start their own business. It's
right.
just that simple. But do you have the mentality to start that business? That
Mhm,
becomes the number one key question.
mhm.
And two, you might want to start it, but it may not be your time.
Oh, wait,
So
hold up.
every
Wait,
so
hold.
everything's got to be in timing.
Everything has to be in timing. So I may say I want to start this business, but it may not be the
It
right time to
may not
to
be the right
start.
time.
Mm,
No. And it just depends on what your product and your service is. That will determine how much it's needed in America right now. And I mean, think of it this way. We all go to college. Some of us have gone to college and have gotten a degree. How
right.
many of us are working in that degree right now?
Mm-hmm. Not
Probably
not
about probably
right.
about 40 to 50% of us.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to find something that's going to be around for a while. Real estate, medical health things. Those are things that's going to be around for a while. And so once you can dab into that and get a grasp of that, you very well can find your niche in that. And who knows? We always need someone to do culinary. Catering food and event planning is always a plus. So
Yeah.
I want people to not take the small thing for granted to say, oh, I think I can do this and I can't do it. No, if you want to do it, line it up with God's plan. He gave it to you in Jeremiah 29:11,
Oh,
right? Line it up with God's plan, and then that way it will flourish when it's supposed to. He'll give you all the resources. He'll give you all the patience that you need or all your customers that you need. It all comes with timing.
oh, see, wait, I didn't bring my mug. I should have brought my little mug so I could take a sip right there. Because did y'all understand what she just said? And she threw out a scripture with it. I mean, say that scripture one more time, please.
That's Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, said the Lord.
It
And they
says
are the plans to prosper and grow you.
oh,
Yes.
see, I love that. I love that. So you have to believe in. Oh, let me stop because I feel myself about to go there. Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm having
he's
a
just he's just that amazing, and just the imagination of things that he can do if we would just get out our own self way. So
oh
when
just
you're talking about African Americans, we tend
mhm.
to judge ourselves first without even knowing that we can actually do it. And like I said, it's all in timing, because if it was meant for you to do it, everything will line up for you to do that, right?
Right.
But if you're just fearful, you're walking around, well, I'm going to start this, I'm going to get to it at some point in time, then your mentality is not there yet. So you want to keep praying on it for God to give you his plan, so that once it's that time, the doors will open up and you'll be thinking, can't be true. No, that is what you pray for. And that's now the time, the season.
That's it. And don't be afraid of the purpose. Don't be afraid of his plan. Because, baby, when I tell you, there'll be so many doors that open up for you, you'll be like, wait, is this where I'm supposed to go?
Yes.
I'm speaking to myself, because yes, I love it. But it's really important to encourage and inspire people to have that mindset, because people have wonderful ideas and they say, well, it's an idea, but I don't know how to start it. Then they sit on it and they sit and they sit and they sit. And then before you know it, it'd be 20, 30 years. And you're like, dang, I sure wish I would have.
Started. Going through the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Yes. Yes. You can't go through the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. That's not the time to do that. The time to do it is to get after it. Right. And if you are a true believer and believe in God, then you automatically know that when it's time for you, everything it'll be ready to go.
Everything.
He makes no mistakes, because he gives you the intro, the intro, the meat, potatoes, and then he gives you the closure. So everything is plain and clear for you to have when it's your time.
When it's your time. I like that. Timing is everything.
Everything. It's everything. You don't want it to leave out nowhere, right? Yep. You don't want it to leave out nowhere. It's everything. And so when you're lining yourself up to what you're supposed to be doing and praying for it, it'll all work out. I tell my buyers that every time when they get ready to start buying a house, because they go through this fear cycle, and you can see the state of confusion. So the whole goal, again, is to why I educate in that platform, in that capacity, is to show people, just calm down. You can take the most biggest issue and make it so stressful, and you can stress yourself out, got yourself in a heart attack or some kind of sickness or some kind of stomach issues, and you're so worried, your hair is losing out and all this other good stuff, instead of you just taking it to him and praying about it and believing that whatever's going to happen is going to happen, that you have to accept it. See, that's the big part. He might tell you no, but they ain't saying no now. That's just saying not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now. So you have to get to a point where you're understanding how it works. And he's just like a parent. We all have parents, and we've all been raised by parents. So he's a parent. God's going to tell you, and he going to whip you like he's supposed to. He going to stand in that corner with his arms crossed like he's supposed to. He going to tell you, I did not tell you to do that when I told you to do it. So sometimes when we pray for stuff, we get fearful of that. Well, is this too good to be true? No, you pray for it. So that's where it's supposed to go. So now that it's there, boss up and go do it.
Boss up and go do it. Be careful what you pray for. Let's move on.
You better be careful what you pray for, because when you get it, are you truly ready for it? So again, that goes back to that timing. You just have to be ready for everything. And he wouldn't give you no more than you can handle.
Oh, that's it. God, listen, we may have to have a part 2, because we this right here, we can.
He done said in his word, I will not give you no more than you can bear. And everything that's on your plate is either because you caused it to get on your plate, or it was time for it to be on your plate.
Okay. That's true. I like that. Now let's move into you being an author, because the title you said was best-selling. Did I hear that right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, best-selling author. Now, so what was your first book? Because I don't want to give it away.
My first book was the #1 Amazon seller, Networkology: Women Building Wealth One Business at a Time. Okay. And it is an anthology with 9 other queens that have placed their story in here about networkology. And my title of my story was Knowing Your Net Worth Comes from Your Network. You got a network to know what your net worth is going to be, right?
Right.
So if you're not networking, then it's not working out for you because
Oh,
you can't go through business with your mouth closed.
mm, that's
You
true.
can't go through business with your mouth closed.
Right.
And that's another scripture. You have not because you ask not.
Uh-oh,
So
come on with the scriptures.
you
Okay.
have to ask for your business. And this is a great tool with 10 different perspectives about how you should be networkology and networking within your business. And
Oh,
so that was the first one that we put out. And that came out in 2020. And then my second one came out in 2021. If
wait.
resilient,
Hold on. Pause. Let's pause.
pause. Let's pause that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pause on the purpose. Okay, so the first book was written in, you said 2019, no, 2020.
It was in 2020.
Oh my goodness. Now, did this happen in the midst of the pandemic?
Listen, it was a lot of things that happened in the pandemic.
I know.
I was a year in my podcasting, and the question I was putting out was, Lord, what can I do? Everyone is losing their jobs. Everybody's hurting. What can I do? And so it was the thought of, I want you to do the book of obedience that breaks every yoke from Stephanie D. Moore. And it was a 31-day devotion. That would be the second time I would come encounter with God. And that 30-day devotional process, Verdella, let me tell you, it was an experience like none other. I actually did it live on my podcast so that way it can give me some stamp of, I did do this, what you asked me, Father God. So
Wow.
after that, I got rewarded with my BMW. So that was the reward that I got. So obedience pays off.
Yeah. It does. Oh my God. It does. I'm gonna have to get that devotion book from you. Okay. Oh my God.
Yes,
So, and the reason I brought up in the midst of this pandemic is because a lot of things happened in 2020.
it
A
did.
lot of people world just kind of, I don't want to say crash, but it felt like to them that it crashed and everything just fell apart and you didn't know what you was doing. You didn't know if you was coming or going or what's going on, who to trust, who to hear. I get it. But in the midst of that, she's created greatness with
Yes,
10 other beautiful, beautiful women to let
yes,
to encourage people to understand what your net worth is. And
yes,
I mean, listen, and there were so many people that said, well, I don't know what to do. And, depression increased when pandemic, was going on and
yes.
people just were isolated and all these other things. And in the midst of that, you are still creating something that can help the people.
The community, absolutely. Well,
Definitely.
see, my thing is this is that when we're constantly hurting, we're doing this.
Mm,
When you're hurting, you can't receive nothing, you can't give anything. But when you release it and open up, now you can receive and you can be a servant.
right.
So at that moment, I was, how can I be a servant? I can't give money, I can't give time, I can't give anything, but I gave time through my podcast, through that obedience session. Yeah,
Right.
it was a part, and then came out with the book.
And then
So
came out.
I still have some of the books available, and I'm personally signaturing them. So if anyone is interested, you can inbox me.
Yes. And I have mine, by the way, just to let y'all know.
Yeah, you already got your personal signature book.
I have mine, by the
Now,
way.
my second book that came out is If Resilience Was a Person. And again, this was another great book that came out from Paula McDade, from Stellar. She is from the editor in chief of Brilliant Awakening magazine. And again, we had some other queens that got in here and shared their story about how they're being resilient. And I mean, just think about it. We're all resilient in our own way.
Mhm.
You've overcome something, some tragic situation, a loss of a job or a death of a family member, a loved one, or you had to relocate. Some things can be more dramatic than others, but at some point in time, you had to be resilient. You had to strap up and go through it anyway. And so that's what I love about this book, is that it is speaking a whole lot about you being resilient. And yeah, we all have it.
We are now. Are both of those books on Amazon?
I do believe they are.
Okay.
But I do have copies of this book that's in hand here. So if you would
Okay.
like to get a copy, I do have a copy of this book here.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So, are you writing any more novels or books or journals or what? I mean, what's up your sleeve? I feel like you have something.
Well, I just self-published my first magazine, the G magazine. It's an off spin that's coming from the Santana Global magazine,
Oh, very
where I was on the front cover of Santana Global's magazine. And not only did he put me on the front, but he put me on the back as
good.
well.
Hey,
So,
that's beautiful. I love that.
and so I will have my G magazine here at our store to sell for those to come by and pick up. But definitely I'll have more magazines to come now that I've started that. That's going to be something every bi-monthly that I'll be putting out.
Okay.
That has opportunities for for contributing writers to get in. I do have prices that you can actually put. This is the G
Okay.
magazine. That's the flyer. I've just finished, like I said, just finished the publication, so I don't have the actual magazine here, but it is coming. But there's so many different prices that you can get in as far as contributing writers, as far as putting in featured ads. This is a global magazine, so it's not just for the state of Oklahoma. So I have contributing writers that will be all over the United States and as well as international that will be able to put in their information in this G magazine. And
Wow.
the G is basically my husband came up with the idea of
I was
when we
about
were
to.
going through we were going through the pandemic during the time, and it was that everyone is broken. And we're still broken, believe it or not. There's still some people that are still putting their pieces together from the pandemic. And
Right.
so, as we're broken, we need to understand we have to be the glue, which is what the G stands for, to be the glue in everything that you do. And so, I've added to be the glue in your marriage, be the glue in your relationship with your kids, be the glue in your career, be the glue in your fight. Just be the glue, period, in everything, keeping it all bonded together. Now,
Whoa.
some people see the G and they're like, well, what does the G stand for? It could be the glue, it could be the glamour, it could be the gangster, whatever your G is. But we want you to G up in your situation and keep it all together and glued. So, yes.
Okay. Okay. Wait, I gotta take another pause. First off, we want to give it up to Mr. Pouncil for
Ain't
coming.
that it? I
Yes.
got to give it up for my king.
Yes.
He's, a,
Give
he's,
it
a,
up
he's
for
a
him. I
talented.
love that. The glue.
Yes.
Oh,
The
I love
glue.
that. I was gonna ask, like, what does the G stand for? But I love that. Now, when does this magazine? When is it officially launched? Like, where we can?
It launched this month. It came out for October, November.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
excuse me, September and October is when it came out. And so I meant to send you that picture so that you can flash it up for everyone. What I did is I took my editor, my person, Matthew Santana, that's for the Santana Global magazine. I took him and made him the first person on our front cover. So you'll see that
Okay.
as our first contributing magazine for September, October. Now, November and December will be my king. I got to get him in there and spotlight him as the G, the creator behind all of this, and push him out there. You know, he's one of those behind the scene guys, but
Right.
he is a powerful person if you ever get a chance to meet him. So,
Oh my
yes,
goodness. So the magazine has launched,
the
and
magazine has launched.
so if they need to, do they need to go to a website if they want to connect with you for like the editors and putting in an ad and all that? How do they reach the G magazine?
They can go to iamsunnyponcil.net.
Okay.
Which is my personal website. And I'm adding everything funneling from right there, from real estate, podcasting, the G magazine, events that I got coming up, books coming out. Everything is right there on my website. And yes, this little queen right here is a busy bee. I promise you. I'm
And
trying to schedule rest, and it's not even easy to schedule rest.
oh my gosh. I know. It's difficult at times. Now, with the magazine, of course, since it's a global, it'll be mailed to them. Are we able to subscribe for the year? Or how, I mean, how can
Yes,
we
there is a subscription. You can subscribe for it to get it on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. You can also get it digitally.
oh,
So if you get it digitally, there's a certain song that we play while you're watching the video or while you're reading the magazine. So I kind of love the digital version as well.
okay, that's neat. I like that. Well, that's a bad cover. I like that. That cover is really, really nice. That green is popping out. I mean, if you can't see it, I don't know what to say, but uh, yes.
Listen, and it was a custom suit designed from made to order, designed by Terry Owens. and
Okay.
she's out of Edmond, Oklahoma. And let me tell you, she is one of the designers that I use. The other one is of Robert Lee Percy from Dallas, Texas. And so when I hit the stage, those two designers, they keep me fashionably ready to go. So I'm super excited about that.
Oh, okay, okay. Look. Look. I'm not gonna say what I was thinking. I'm gonna keep that to myself later. Hopefully, I don't forget it and mess around. And
Look, write it down so we can take the next conversation.
right. Oh my goodness! So, now let's dive into this podcasting because you said you started podcasting in 2019.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what's the name of your podcast?
It is Neighborhood Jams with Sunni Pouncil.
Neighborhood Jams. Okay, okay. And what's the Neighborhood Jams about? Because I'm thinking music, but I know it's more than that. So
No, you're right on the money. And that's the reason why I want to create that name, Neighborhood Jams. Because as a real estate agent, I'm driving through the neighborhoods.
hmm
So there's the neighborhood and jams. I like to music. I like to jam. I like to dance. I like to sing. And so those are some things that I had to incorporate to make, who I am be more realistic instead of just trying to hide behind a facade about it. But it's basically me taking my education or my knowledge, my experiences, into the platform of speaking to the community on things of real estate. So whether we're talking about credit, whether we're talking about finances, whether we're talking about what's going on in the market, in the industry, as it's changing, so it's everything's discussed about real estate. And so I'll be adding some more pieces in commercial as I'm starting to pick up that side of it too. So that's why I said it's a lot of things. I'm like an onion. You got to peel me back one layer at a time because it's just all kind of stuff.
Right, and we're gonna have a couple tears in there too.
Yes, you're gonna have some tears, unfortunately. Yes,
My
that
goodness.
was the beautiful thing. So
Definitely. So follow Neighborhood Jams, and I'm gonna say you're on all podcast channels.
pretty much, I'm on Podbeam. I'm also on YouTube, which is where all of my videos from 2019 is on right now. It's on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I do on Instagram. So I'm on my Instagram live. Shout out to all those that are tuning in with us in my Instagram page. I so appreciate that. But yes, it is one of those that I'm just taking it. It's one of those that we're using technology now. And
Right.
so that's the things that we're educating in our real estate field is get on the lives, be on the videos. People want to see stuff. They're not wanting to take the time to read it. So basically I could take a couple of articles and, rough draft, sum it up and read it word from word and just share it with you guys and be like, this is the article that I read. And, so just sharing some things to help educate the community on ways they can secure keys to their unique home, which is the name of my real estate business, is Your Unique Home.
Your unique home. I like
And
that.
it's unique. It is uniquely spelled, so it's not the YOUR. It's just the UR, and that's the your.
Right. Just the
And
you. Did y'all follow that? Make sure y'all, if you need a
it's just the
home.
you. Right. Need a home, sell a home, want to invest in one. I'm stepping into the platform. I'm now traveling with a group of ladies that are stepping in your truth. And as we're traveling, my business is to go to each of these states, connect with some real estate agents there, and
Okay.
take some leadership that way as well, and just connect with other people in different states because there's so much that's out there. And
Right.
if you just
Right.
feel like you're going to be locked in just Oklahoma, this is so small. It's so much out there, and
It's
so
way bigger than Oklahoma.
it's way bigger than Oklahoma. So if
And,
I could touch a little here, touch a little there, then I'm just trying to touch everywhere.
and it's important to be able to make that connections, like she said earlier, in case you missed it.
Your network.
Networking. There you go. So wherever she go, Florida, it doesn't matter. She is networking and be like, hey, so
Yes.
are you relocating to Florida? I got a realtor that you can see. Y'all see how
Yes. And that's the whole goal, is to create this platform where I'm not just the real estate agent from Oklahoma. You can call me and be like, hey, I'm going to move to Maine. Do you have a real estate agent there? Yeah, I got a partner relations up that way. Let me connect you. And when I'm looking for someone to partner with, I got to have the mirror of me, because when I refer someone, these people are wanting to depend. They're looking to really work with you. But if I can partner up with someone that has a mirror of my response, mirror of my character, then it
Right.
makes it an easy transition to where, hey, that sister or that young man is going to take great care of you. I don't have no doubt about it.
Mhm.
And I've already done it. I've already sold a couple of homes in Texas, and so I
Right.
already know how that works, and so it's been pretty quite interesting to say the most. And so, yes,
Okay. Okay, well that's good. I'm loving this. That you just have an array of things that are going on, and every single one is a blessing, and it just
it,
continues to blossom and to I can't even think of my next word. I want to say grow, but that's not what I'm trying to say. But it just continues
I'll
to
take that.
do bigger and better things. Definitely, definitely, and I think
Yes,
that's really important, especially when you're giving back. If you guys didn't catch up on it, with from the real estate to the podcast to the author, everything that she's doing, she's giving back to the community in
right.
some form of fashion.
Yes, yes,
Some form of
and
fashion.
which rolls into speaking because as I took the podcasts and educating in the community, I birthed the Homeowners Expo. And so I just hosted the fourth annual Homeowner Expo this past September. And the expo is where I have key experts come in and they share, vital information about the industry. Because I can't give it to you from the money bag, which is the lenders, like I like to call them. I'm
Right.
the keys to the city as the realtor, but you got to have that money bag secured, right? I
Mm-hmm.
can't talk to you if you're not talking to OFA about your down payment assistance. Some people don't understand that there's $14,000 right here in the state of Oklahoma that they're giving that covers all 77 counties. And so Valencia Doolin was at the Home Sweet Homeowners Expo this past year talking about the down payment assistance. Um, we had Nicole LaShawn from Narissa Berry's insurance agency come and talk to us about insurance coverage, how it's so important on business and residential.
Mm-hmm.
So this year I put a twist on it because I want to speak to some of our business owners because there's a lot of people of, hey, I want to start my business, but I don't have the credit. I don't have the capital, this and that and the third. So I had a commercial lender present and I had I had a representative that flew in from Indiana that came and talked to us about business credit and business funding. And so it was a wealth of information. It was the fourth annual. I can't wait till next year because 2023, I'm hosting it twice
Oh,
next year.
okay.
And the goal to connect with other real estate agents out of state is to take the expo on the road so
Right.
that we can do the exact same thing in other states and pulling buyers out to say, hey, you have these hard, difficult questions. We want to be right here to give you the steps.
I
So,
like that. I like that. Buying a
yeah,
home is stressful. Whew, I remember we bought our home in 2009, and that was stressful. I mean, because you're
you
excited,
know what?
but you're also
Yes, you're
nervous
stressed.
at
Now,
the
did
same
you
time.
buy an existing home or did you build a new one?
Well, it was in a process of being completed. So it was a
Okay.
new home. Yeah. But we didn't
Okay.
like custom make it or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Sometimes that can be the challenge. The new builds I'm hearing are the challenge. But if you just can keep in mind your budget, if you can also keep in mind that they have it set. If you're doing the what we call prefab homes, these are homes like the Authentic Homes, Home Creations,
Yeah.
Homes by Tabor. Those are people that are actually have 4 or 5 different plans, and they will build them in different areas of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you
Okay.
went with a custom build like Turner and Sons, then that's where they give you an idea. You give them a floor plan and you go and, you actually strategically plan out your home.
Home.
But
Yeah.
all of it should be a fun process. None of it should be difficult. And I think a lot of it comes from the lack of communication.
Right. Right. Definitely. And then also with
Somebody dropped the ball and they didn't communicate that they dropped the ball or something or another, you know?
right. Right. And then I think it's even stressful coming up with um, the down payment,
Mhm.
because I'm I'm trying to remember because I'm trying to remember from 2009, but I think that isn't the down payment based up on the value of the home or something about a percentage of the home, or is that the closure? That may be the closing costs. I may be getting
The
it mixed
close
up.
the closing costs you do have. Everyone has a closing cost, even if you're selling your home.
Okay.
Because you have to pay the title company their fees to draw up the paperwork and make sure the deed is clean and things of that
Right.
nature, although they're a third party entity. But everyone has closing costs, and it just depends on the purchase of the price of the home, the sales price. But
Mm-hmm.
as well as if you're keeping up your credit scores over that 640, 680, and if you're
Um,
saving your money, then you're going to have some of the ways already ahead of most people. That down payment assistance is just to help push over that hurdle after you came up with $3,000 to $5,000.
Right. Right.
So,
Okay.
but
Okay.
yeah, the down payment and the closing costs, all that is wrapped into the closing costs at the end. So that's why it becomes so much of people saying, man, I need $10,000. Well, if you got your credit straight and have your money saved, you can go and apply for the down payment assistance. It may act as a second mortgage with a little bit of a higher interest rate, but there's $14,000 you didn't have to stress to go get
Yeah. Yeah. And then
or apply for.
oh, apply for. Wow. So, okay, now I'm gonna have to write this down. We're gonna have to talk about home ownership on the podcast because this is a lot of information, especially if
Yes.
you're looking into buying a home. And timing is also important when you're buying a home because I
Yes.
know you hear it on the
Right
news.
now, the interest rates is crazy. I think they're hovering about 7% right now.
Okay.
So
And then not to
yes,
mention people trying to sell their home. So I know it's kind of like a yeah.
yes.
But that
But
that
we have, and, and right now we have more buyers than we do sellers. So if someone is on the fence about selling their home, nine
mhm,
times out of 10 it's time to sell it. But as I speak to most sellers, just think of it this way: you're looking at the buyers out here getting in the market looking for a house. If you sell your home, you're going to be in the same situation. You got to find you another house to move to.
right. That's
But
true.
it's all a strategic planning. You got to have a plan. You got to have that plan. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta have that plan.
You gotta have
If you
that
don't have
plan.
a plan, you are going out here just going by it, trying to figure it out, and that's not the best way to do it.
That's not
So
yeah. You gotta have a plan. I have a because and then also take into consideration that there may be some mishaps in there.
mhm.
So you have to think about that too while you're creating your plan of what you want to do. Huh.
And if I can share this one valuable piece of information for buyers that are looking for a home, you pay absolutely $0 for a real estate agent. Zero. So
Really?
for you to get all that experience from a real estate agent, it is so important that you go ahead and partner up with a real estate agent so that you can have someone to protect you,
Right.
because it's no cost to you. The seller pays my commission to represent you as the buyer.
Ah, see, did y'all
So
know that? Y'all didn't know
now,
that.
gotta have a home ownership on this podcast. Yes, ma'am.
Right, right. We definitely do. We have to talk about that. Definitely, because that'll tie into this credit score and all this other girl. Yeah, we can talk. We
Yes, ma'am.
definitely have to talk about that. Oh my goodness. So the magazine, the pod. No, I got a question about your podcast.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
what days are those released on? Like, do you have them on a certain day? Like the new episode drops on this day, or how do you
So
normally?
the interesting thing is I took the first 6 months off earlier this year because the first year that I started my podcast was to showcase other business owners. I didn't care how small or how big you were. I
Okay.
just wanted to give back to the community. And so that's how I was able to grow the podcast. But over time, from the 2020 to 2021 and then coming into 2022, as it started growing, my business was growing. I had the cannabis has started coming growing in, the books have started to come out. So I got so many other things that's coming on. So now I'm having to wheel back in and say, okay, pre-record and drop. So they should be dropping every Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Oh, okay. Okay. I know you have to do that time management. Oh Lord.
Yes. Yes.
Trying to find a balance and then rest in between all those things that you
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
oh my goodness. So what are some things that you like to do for fun? Because I know you enjoy your three businesses that you have going on, but what are some things you like to do just to relax and get back with your husband or family? What's under your radar there?
Family trips.
Okay. Okay.
Right now with the travel, my goal is to look at certain areas that I can invest in, that I can have my husband either go and because he does construction, so he's a
Okay.
contractor. And so with that, I want to get it to where he can go and do some of the rehabs, and then that gives us a vacation home
Uh,
to go and visit and then turn into Airbnb. So right now, that's where I'm currently at, and that turns to where we can take vacation, take some time away.
oh,
I have an 8-year-old son, so we're into sports with him. So supporting him and getting him integrated with that has been fun. My husband was teaching and coaching for so long. My bonus son is 28 now. He was 12 when we started with him in football. And so to see the 5,000 kids that my husband coached,
Wow.
while we didn't have our own children out there.
Right.
And now that I have my own child, it's like I am so excited. I'm out there screaming and hollering and yelling like it's so I enjoyed that part because I have been waiting and waiting. And again, that goes back to that timing. So I had to wait for my time to be the mama to get out there and be out on the field and martial arts and things like that. So my time is spent enjoying him, watching him grow, and then definitely raising him with my husband because, it's hard when you're not a couple married raising a child. And so, I mean, we all kind of know that. I'm a single mom child as well. So,
okay.
it's tough.
Well, definitely. Well, you have your hands full, but at least you're taking the time to rest a little bit and do things that you enjoy doing. Because as us being entrepreneurs, sometimes we get very caught up into running the business and getting everything where it needs to go. But then we also have to remember to take a moment to just
woosah.
Yeah.
Gotta have a woosah moment. Trust me.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
That self-care is important. That self-care is very important.
It is. It sure is. Now, where can they find you? You put out your website and tell them one more time where can they find you on your website and then your social media.
You can find me at iamsunnipouncil.net, which is the website. You can also follow me on Instagram under Sunni Pouncil, Facebook Sunni Pouncil. You can also find me Neighborhood Jams with Sunni Pouncil on Facebook and YouTube. The Your Unique Home is on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok and on Snapchat.
Whoa, she on every look, she even on Snapchat.
Hey, I just had to get on Snapchat but it came by way of taking pictures. It started out with taking pictures because I don't know if some people know, but it's a great way to not clutter up your phone with pictures. And so if you go to Snapchat and save your pictures, you can save all the pictures. But then I started learning how to chat on it and share stories. And so now I'm just on there too. So, you just learn. As stuff advances, you try to pick your brain and make sure you get in there and learn it as well.
Right. That's true.
Well, yes.
Well, that's good that you're on. I call it Snap of the chat because I'm on everything but that one.
Now, I do want to mention while we are honoring Breast Cancer Awareness Month, that is also Domestic Violence Month, but it's also Loss of Baby Awareness Month. And so this month is a double. It's really difficult for me to get past October because I'm not only fighting the battle of breast cancer and helping the other women do it, but some people don't even know that I lost a child in 2012. And so with that kind of gels everything all together for me. And so she would be 10 as of this month, but I would carry her 8 months, 35 weeks, and she would be stillborn. And so just the fight after the battle of breast cancer, it was one of the things. But yes, those are 3 honorable things that are going on this month. And so at some point in time, please stop and give your love to a breast cancer thriver or to a domestic violence thriver, to a parent that have lost a loved one, a child, that's per se. So.
Oh my goodness. Yes, indeed. And thank you for being transparent on that because you didn't have to say that, but thank you for sharing that bit of information. And I hope that this gives someone the hope that they need, to let them know that they're not by themselves. Because when we're going through a variety of things, we tend to think no one else is going through what I'm going through. And that's not true.
It's not.
That's not true.
Now with over millions and millions of people across the country, somebody else has got a situation similar to yours.
Yes.
Pretty much. Definitely. So yes.
Well, Sunni, I do appreciate you coming on Share the Tea Tuesdays, and I know for the people that are wondering, well, it's not Tuesdays. We know it's not Tuesday. Don't be like that. It's Thursday, right. But we had some things we had to take care of. Okay, now,
yes.
Unfortunately, we had to make some little adjustments.
Just and
that's okay.
And that's well worth it. It was well worth the 2-day wait. I sure hope they enjoyed it because if not, then it'll be something within this story that will touch your heart and your soul. And so I hope that it touches you.
Definitely. And I'm going to definitely have you come back. It'll be in 2023 because I'm trying to.
That is perfect. That
Yes.
is perfectly fine. But that 2023 calendar, let me tell you, it is filling up.
Oh
So you just let me know. Yeah, I'm already up to June, filled up already.
my Lord, June. Okay.
Yeah. With traveling, with books, my own events that I'm hosting and things of that nature. So yeah, yeah. But either way, you know what? You let me know, and I'm gonna make it happen. Even
Okay.
if I'm out of town, I'm gonna make it happen.
Okay.
Just
We'll make it happen. I'll schedule you in the later part because I'm like, look, I need to get on my game. Like Sunny, like, come on now. She already booked for June. I'm booked till the middle of December. That's all I got.
that's okay. That's okay. It's all in timing. But as you start adding layers, watch. Your calendar is going to start filling up 30 days, 60 days, 90 days in advance, on to
Right.
6 months in advance. And I mean, you sometimes have to plan it like that so that you can know what you're doing.
That's true. That is
So
true.
you stick to the
Now
plan, stick to the plan first.
I want to say one more thing because you have a mannequin behind you, and that looks
Yes.
like a V-neck T-shirt. Is that?
Yes. That
Are we
is
have?
my Sunny Pouncil V-neck t-shirt.
Okay, so we got products. Did y'all see that? Like, oh, okay. And
So you can get a book. You can get a book. You can get one of the books and a shirt for
okay,
$35.
that's not bad.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go to that website and quit playing. I like that shirt.
Yes, yes. I like V-necks, and so yeah, I'm starting to get to it. But I'm
You
gonna
know,
start adding the G shirts on there too. So we have the G shirts you can get. So
yeah.
the pink, I have the pink. I got a couple of reds, some blacks, some white. So yeah, you
Okay.
can order your shirts. We want you to get a part of the movement, whether it's the Sunny Pouncil movement or the G movement.
Other G movement. G movement. Hey,
now
okay. Don't come out.
listen, we don't want to do that because we don't want 50 Cent coming to me
Right,
telling ask for
right. Don't come after me. I have
don't
no
come
money.
50.
Don't
Don't
don't.
come 50.
Right.
You can sponsor and donate, but don't come for me 50. Don't
Right.
come
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. Sorry about that. Don't want any copywriting issues going on.
Right, right. This ain't the G unit. No, we're talking about the G involvement to get involved with the program.
Right.
Yes.
Well, Sunny, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I do appreciate you coming on Strategy Tuesdays. Make sure you go and follow her on her website, on her social media, and support the movement in all the different ways that she has. And definitely reach out if you need some help with. I mean, there's a variety of things. You pick and choose. You go out
Right.
and don't forget and tell a V sent you. I'm starting to use that as my tag, even though nobody knows me. But hey, tell a V sent you. And you heard about her on Charity Tuesdays. And once again, make sure you guys tune in next week. We're going to continue with this phenomenal growth that we're doing with the podcast. I have a variety of people that are coming on, and so I do appreciate you taking the time to join us. It will be on Tuesday next week, so don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Charity with V, and remember to be intentional, be insightful, and definitely be impactful. Until I talk to you again next week. Bye, guys. Thank
See you
you.
later. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance.